What's going on, everybody? We're back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republics off the air, immediately following NXT every single Tuesday night. I assure you, I'm still working on getting that old countdown music back because I really hate the new stuff, but it's not about that. Monster shout out to the Tuesday Night Delight himself, Shoddy. He hosted the Daily earlier. He will not be in attendance this evening, however. Somebody who will be, I have to introduce all the way in Louisville, Kentucky, and he's got to remind me about something I got to do. What's going on?
Good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Driz the wrestling plug. That music just it doesn't it just zing you out? It's like elevator music, like you're on hold waiting for something. Like it, I don't know who came up with that. StreamYard, go put those stuff back. I didn't come here to be wooed and soothed and stuff. I came here to turn up and talk about NXT, and now you have taken my mood. Thanks a lot, StreamYard.
Somebody is to blame for this. I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's hotel stuff. It's
And happy
hotel
and
music.
happy Women's History Month.
Yes, happy Women's History Month. It is March, by the way. I haven't seen you in, well, it hasn't been a month, but I haven't seen you since last month.
No,
It's like
no, so long ago, so long ago.
so long ago. We got a bunch of comments. We got what's up, guys, from Bobby Petito. We've got hello everyone from Maria Graciela Sias. And then also get well soon, Cora Jade. Oh, yes, we will get into
Yes,
that. Best wishes to Cora Jade. Also from Fernando Zayas, no question. And what's up, everyone? NXT was absolutely fire tonight. Yes, no doubt about that. Well, Driz, let's get right into it. Let's start
yes,
talking about it. We had a title change tonight, and an interesting one. Family on family. Here we have Tony D versus Sean Spears. Really high quality match.
yes.
Kicked out of the C4. Didn't see that coming. Eventually, his back just gave out. Loved the psychology of that. Wouldn't necessarily call it the match of the night, but the
Definitely not.
title change in the moment was huge.
Yes,
And then obviously you have the outsmarting aspect when it comes to the faction on faction crime part of this. Drizzy talks to me about this title change, and we've got a new North American champion here on NXT.
yes. That title change was definitely a 10 out of 10. Ah, I see what I did there. A very good match. But when you are in the ring with Sean Spears, has never been a bad wrestler. It just kind of seems like everybody around him is just as good. So he kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Definitely deserves. I don't want to say this is the first title he's held in NXT ever, and he's been in just about every form of NXT that you can have. But a great logic. I love when matches tell good stories like that. Tony was able to tell that story of his back, and he didn't really. He was able. You could tell he was holding his own until the whole mishap happened with Rizzo attacking Izzy, and then Cusafino and Stacks all taking out Nico and uh, Jensen and everybody, and just seeing Stacks run into Tony and his back hitting the chair. A chair that was strategically put there earlier at the beginning of the match, which I don't know what type of dumb luck that was, but hey, when it happens, it happens. So, again, a great story told in the ring. I love those. Congratulations to our new champion and his conspiracy. Or we've got to name this group. We've
Yeah,
called them the chair. We have called them the conspiracy. We have called them the
the
10.
chairman,
The Kobe called them the 10 Commandments. Like it's
the chair them,
the chair, the chair
not the
faction.
chairman, the chair them.
The four legs because there's four of them. Oh,
4 legs.
oh, they can.
Oh, but we have already have metaphor. I don't know.
They can't be metaphor. There's only one metaphor.
There's only one metaphor. I love the group. I don't necessarily love Spears winning the title this early, but there's got to be something in the cards for D'Angelo. Either that or he needs some time. given whatever's going on, whether it's his back or not.
Hmm.
And that's kind of my concern coming out of that. I thoroughly enjoyed the match though, Driz. I agree with you. Like I get where they're going with this.
And
And
it might be time for him to lose the belt. I didn't realize that he has held that belt for a while. It just doesn't feel like it. Like I don't know what it is. It just didn't feel like he's had that
yeah,
belt since October.
yeah, it is an odd scenario in that regard. Um, let's talk though a little bit further about some other matches on tonight's card.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Zarya Solruka versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. I loved this match. Chelsea Green on that finish was the MVP to take all of those spots consecutively. Oh,
And I don't know if she broke her nose or what it was, but we have to talk about the toughness of Chelsea Green because there's just some women in this industry that are just badass, and she is one of them. Out of all the women that we've seen bleed, I think I've seen Chelsea Green bleed the most, maybe. And she just keeps on going like nothing is happened. Nothing stops. No, nothing is stopping this. And to take both those all those moves plus a Piper splash as well.
yeah.
I don't think we said we need to praise the work that she does. Also, great
Well,
logic in that match too.
it was off the charts. And I think one of the coolest spots for her to be able to get in position to take the Soul Snatcher from Sol Ruka after that sequence. Um, Bobby Petito added here Sol Ruka pins WWE Women's United States Championship.
That is a big deal.
It should be on the line. Yeah, I agree. And then Fernando Zayas added Chelsea Green is one of the best women's workers in the business. Yes, I couldn't agree with that more. But what I was saying there before, to get in position to take that Soul Snatcher from Sol Ruka was like, what? I
Mm.
mean, it was not an easy task, and to do it in a way where
Great ring awareness,
you're still
everything.
selling, it was off the charts. I really thought this match over delivered, if anything, out of the gates.
Absolutely.
Um, compared to some of the rest of the show, and that's no knock on. I thought this was a very fun edition of NXT.
Mhm.
But Driz, let's keep it rolling here because we're gonna do predictions too.
Woo.
Let's get into Jada Parker and Kalani Jordan because
The real match of the night.
I thought this was the match of the night. I think
Yeah.
it's arguably women's match of the year. Let's get the one negative spot out of the way, Drizzy, early. There was that one little suplex thing.
One little slip up.
This
But
is the best women's match of the year. If you haven't seen it, it is. That's my personal belief. You tell me about it. What were your thoughts on it, Driz?
I'm not 100% ready to say it's the women's match of the year just because we have all types of other ones to come. And the women's division in NXT, PSA, here it is. This is the best women's division in wrestling. So when you're lower level, and even lower level here is damn near a mid card anywhere else, women's champions anywhere else. Easily, any of these women could go challenge Masha Slammer for her belt. Go to MLW challenge Janai Kai for her belt or anybody else. Jada and Kalani, you very seldomly see Jada in long matches like this, and they fought. This was a fight. This was not an actual wrestling match. This was a fight. Jada held her own. Kalani was able to keep up with Jada. That was the biggest thing for me because Jada is such a hard hitting smash mouth wrestler. She's not up there with the likes of like Jocelyn or anything like that. That everything is hard hitting like that. But Jada can definitely knock with the best of them. And Kalani was able to stand toe to toe with her and give her a dose of her own medicine. My hats off to Kalani for being able to do that because that is not an easy feat at all. Jada has been one of the heaviest hitters in this women's division for a while now, and for her to sit there and be able to not only knock Jada back, keep her on her toes like that, absolutely amazing. But from somebody as athletic as her, it's to be expected. I wonder if this is putting a fire under Kalani. That mean streak she's had, because for the longest when she was the North American champion and
Yes.
everything else, she just had this squeaky clean baby face, happy to be here. Uh, yeah, kissing babies, all that stuff. She's getting that mean streak that you need to be a champion and to stay a champion for when she gets back to a title.
And to your point, I also think, you're seeing the big hair, right?
Yes,
The change in the look, the change in the facial expressions, the aggressive style in ring.
it's like
It's
she's
all lending to the future looks like she's going to be more vicious and more violent than she's ever been, and she looks so good in this match.
yeah, it's like
On
she
the
found herself.
end of a loss,
Yes.
which is interesting, right? Like both stood out. I mean, Jada Parker and the crowd is so behind Jada,
Hmm.
right? Chanting her name, the entire start to finish, the whole nine. Um, I think where I was most impressed is they caught me about halfway through
Hmm.
because of some of the things that we've talked about with Kalani, right? Like you said, finding herself, things like that.
Hmm.
It was hard to, root against her or pick a side or anything like that. The crowd was very behind Jada,
Hmm.
given the entrances and the opening sequence of the match. About halfway in, I really locked in and was like, wait a minute. What are we seeing here? When
Like
it started to get really like,
they got
yeah,
really good. It really got to a boom, boom. They were really fighting back with each other, and it's
yeah,
like I said, you rarely see Jada in long matches. Like anything under like over 5 minutes, you don't really see her too much in those. And she in deep waters was swimming just fine. Kalani, she's been there, so we knew she could do it. But Jada definitely proved that she can swim in deep waters, and Kalani proved that she can be just as tough and ruthless as anybody else.
absolutely. And we got some comments here. We got Fernando Zayas with agree 100%. Uh, it's the best women's match of the year thus far. I think thus far that's fair. I think thus far it's at least in the conversation, Drizzy. Right? We don't have to
I
put the
said
stamp on
definitely.
it,
If it's
but yeah,
and
yeah,
definitely for NXT women's matches, definitely a
yeah.
nominee.
I think for sure. At least this far, there's plenty of calendar left.
Yeah.
But as far as what we've seen, we've also got who could we see go against Sean Spears at Stand and Deliver?
Hmm.
That could be almost
Ah,
anybody.
it's very wide open, but I feel
I
like
would have told you Javon Evans a month ago.
you may still get a Javon Evans or Ethan Page maybe.
Yeah, I'm
Like
really not sure on that.
I know Ethan is a heel, but they've done heel on heel matches before, so
Then we got one more, and this is from Anthony Manzano, where he said Clark and Drizzy, with Tony losing his title, does this mean him and the family are being called to main roster?
I
Maybe.
I don't think
Hard,
so.
maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think that Rizzo or Crucifino are just yet ready to go up. Stacks maybe, but I also don't think that they're ready to split that family up like that. I really think this is probably leaning toward a story with Tony and Stacks, and Rizzo and Crucifino have to pick sides in it. That's what it's looking like.
Yeah, I think the only odds are actually Tony just himself
Yeah,
going
Tony
to the
may
main
just go.
roster,
In
and
fact,
that,
it's we could get like what we were talking about with Chase U, where you get different variations of the same faction.
yeah,
So this just might be the we might end up seeing Stacks just take over the family and Tony go up to set up the family on SmackDown or something.
yeah. I just, yeah, I'm in agreement. I just don't see it necessarily right away.
Mm,
Although you never know that Raw after Mania in Vegas.
anything could happen.
You never know. That could be fun. That could be fun. Okay, we're gonna save one really quickly. Let's talk really quickly about Trick Williams. Let's talk really quickly about Trick Williams and his situation regarding, he's got he's got stuff coming up now.
Mm,
He's got the Kale match. What were your thoughts on Trick Williams tonight here?
Trick, Blink, and he was doing his Goldberg impersonation. where the moment he comes out, he hits that running trick shot, and boom, the match is over just like that. If he approached a lot of he's approaching all his stuff with a new intensity. The heel turn is coming. You can see it a mile away. And he's crumbling under the same pressure that Mello had. The only difference is Trick doesn't have a Mello to keep him grounded anymore. Doesn't at all. He doesn't have that. So Trick is just kind of all aggression, no and just no way to channel it.
Yes. And I thought it was interesting the turf tape,
Yes,
how
all
he's going with turf tape now, right? He's got a little Alvin Kamara look going there,
mm,
you know. I I can see where you're coming from on this heel thing. Bobby Petito, though, we got to provide some positivity here. It was nice seeing Kale Dixon getting showcased on
Kel
NXT.
Dixon's
It
Titantron
was,
is I was so excited about the
it
Titantron.
was.
I really thought he was just gonna come out the Chase U music, but hey, I'll take it.
Okay,
He took that loss for Mr. Chase.
he did. Okay, Driz, let's get on to something a little serious here because
Yes,
obviously we've already had the well wishes. We had Jordan Grace and Cora Jade.
yes.
We don't know what happened here. Not 100% sure in any direction.
Mhm.
We all were, pretty confident. We heard my knee is messed up in more aggressive terms by Cora Jade, unfortunately, and just wish the absolute best. Hopefully, not the same knee,
Yes,
not that you're rooting for which knee. Hopefully, not any knee. Hopefully,
we're just
it's
hoping it was a scare and
a sprain,
to be safe, we're just gonna
but
stop the match.
uh,
Yes.
obviously, with the match being stopped, just something it's difficult. And we're going to get into our predictions for Roadblock right immediately following this, Driz.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I mean, we really did think at least I did that Cora Jade would be involved in that card.
Mm.
And yeah, just hoping for the best. You and I both thought maybe concussion. I don't know. There
At
was a
least with a
long time she
concussion,
sat in the corner. We watched the Canadian feed,
yeah.
right? And but just talk to me about that one, Jersey. It was
Yeah.
just it was
Um,
tough.
it was a when I initially had to watch it back, they threw up the X as soon as she hit the corner. Reading the lips a couple of it was like my knees is messed up, but they kind of sat there for a minute. We seen her walk, and we weren't sure if it was a concussion, knee, whatever it is. They're not playing with it, and I applaud WWE for that because this is not ballet. I don't know if you guys remember those commercials from when we were younger. This is not ballet. People do get hurt. The ring is not a trampoline. It is plywood and steel. So when these things happen, I'm happy that they were able to just, you know what, we're not gonna risk it. We if you're really hurt, if this could be been a scare, which we don't want to see anybody truly get hurt in this. So we'll take it. Sending the most love and prayers to Cora Jade. Hopefully, she's able to bounce back. I'm most likely not going to be at Roadblock, but if she's okay for her TNA match, I definitely do want to see her and Masha face off. Hopefully, she will be okay for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where I'm at. And you had Masha in attendance tonight.
Mm,
Your brain starts to spin like maybe there was something there planned.
mm,
Obviously, then we had the segment following with, Roxanne Perez, and it sets up for the Roxanne match with against Jordan Grace at Roadblock, no less.
mm,
Wish the absolute best for Cora Jade. Overcoming one knee injury is difficult, and it's one of those things where the way I looked at it, whether it's the same knee or it's the other one, somebody that's been through it once knows, and that scared the absolute bejesus out of me, for lack
mm,
of a better way to put it. Right, that scared me to death. Wish absolutely the best recovery, the best thing possible, the best news possible for Cora Jade, no
mm,
doubt. Like it, that stuff breaks my heart absolutely for somebody that puts that much work in and cares so much about their craft to be derailed in a maybe a simple movement, right? Because there wasn't uh the highlight of
Mm,
of the injury on this one, right? You don't
mm,
know exactly where it happened, and so you're just wishing the absolute best
yes.
for somebody like that. But let's break down this roadblock card.
Boom.
Boom. And let's, while we're hot, let's start with Roxanne Perez and Jordan Grace.
Ah,
And let's
I
let's hear your pick, Drizzy. Let's hear your pick.
I am going with Jordan Grace. Um, at I forget what show it was last year. Roxanne was able to sneak a win out with help from Ash by Elegance, formerly known as Dana Brooke in TNA. Uh, I really think Jordan is on a roll. She's not trying to take any losses, so she's gonna be giving Roxanne a farewell gift by sending her to the main roster with a loss.
I love it, and I agree with you. Here's where I'm most interested. I'm not sure she was supposed to be Cora Jade tonight.
Mm.
I think this was supposed to be a Cora Jade steal a victory night myself.
It's possible, but I also don't see. I was like, because I part of me kind of wants to agree with you. I'm just not 100
Yeah,
percent sure where they were at on it because with both of them having big matches coming up, you don't want either of them taking a loss. You don't want Cora losing to Jordan because then that just she has no momentum going into the match with Masha, and the same for Jordan not losing to Cora because eventually she's gonna have to challenge for the world title, and you don't want her to have that on her
I
record.
think okay. So I love everything that you've said, and I'm actually in agreement with you, but just for the sake of conversation here, what if, because we've got this Bailey and Roxanne thing hanging in the balance. You've got it just sort of hanging in the balance.
Mm,
What if Cora, what if Cora maybe isn't that hurt and somehow costs, which is best case scenario? I'm trying to speak things into existence. I'm trying to
mm,
root for a non-injured Cora Jade here.
mm,
What if Cora Jade costs Jordan against Roxanne to lead to Roxanne Bailey somehow
mm,
to get us back to that? Roxanne gets this victory. You get Jordan Grace and Cora Jade in like a rivalry.
mm. I
Now, that
I
might be
don't hate it.
wishful thinking.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, it does. It always felt like Cora needed was always trying to find something to do, and she always seemed to be the little sister to Roxanne.
right.
And that way, when she has this Masha feud right now. It finally gave her something to do. So I'm not necessarily sure I want to see them still intermingling anymore.
Yeah.
Even though they have seemed to lean a little more into it, where we're not friends, we're not this, we're not that. You can stop trying to put us together.
We know each other, but we're not a tag team.
This might be that might even be them leading to
Tag
a
run.
Roxanne leaving. Who knows? I don't know.
Anything. Monday Night Roxanne, I just think is a stone left unturned thus far.
The money's there. The
Yeah.
money's there.
And I'm not saying I don't want to see her on Tuesdays with us. She's ready.
We
If
understand.
anybody's ready, it's Pop Rocks.
Yes,
You know
we
what I mean?
understand. And plus the way she had, we gotta talk about her in that elimination chamber match. I know this is an NXT show, but
She's already, see, that's the other thing. She's already doing the main roster crossover stuff.
like she was in two major pay per views, great
Yeah.
showings in both. She was a monster in the elimination chamber, and it took all three of Bianca, Liv, and somebody else to get her out of there.
There's one more finisher. Oh my gosh, I'm
There was
blanking
three. It
too.
was three. It was three finishers because she
There's
took.
three.
Yeah, was it Alexa? It was Alexa. No, it
It
was
was Alexa
Alexa.
Bliss. It was
Yes,
Bliss.
it was
Yes, it was
Alexa.
Bliss.
It took all three of them to eliminate her.
Yeah.
That little bitty person right there was giving it to all of them.
Yeah. I think she's as ready as anybody is.
Yes.
Okay, let's keep it rolling here with predictions though. So I'll take Roxanne. You have Jordan Grace.
Yes.
That's on. Let's be official here on one, in case anybody's keeping score. Which somebody should keep score. Keep score. Someone write this down. Um, next one. Do we go? I feel like the next one on our own personal list.
Let's do this of importance because I'm
Yeah,
looking at the
let's
same list you are, and we don't want to do that with next.
let's go with the Javon Evans and Ethan Page street fight.
Yes.
Let's predict that one next. I'm excited about this match because I think Javon Evans is as good as anybody, and I think this is going to be a fun match with Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page is there to show us how good Javon Evans can truly be.
Mhm.
I do believe Ethan Page probably wins this match,
Mm. Okay.
ironically. But Driz, what is your pick?
I'm going with Javon. I believe Javon is similar to Kalani. They're trying to give you that mean streak. They're trying to push you to be more aggressive. To for you're ready. That you got that mean streak. You got that dog in you. To ready to attack at a moment's notice. And Ethan is bringing that out of Javon. It takes a lot because Javon is always smiling. He's happy. Nobody, and you heard him talk about it tonight. Nobody gonna take my joy. Nobody's gonna do anything with it. He's coming in there, no smiles, no happy, no fun. It's all business. He's coming to bite Ethan Page's face off, and he probably will do it. He can open his mouth now; it ain't wired shut, and he definitely will get this win. And hopefully, that leads to him getting some. I don't just get better, get some more title matches and everything. And it's not gonna be done on a from a rookie happy to be here type thing. It's gonna be on a I belong in the main event thing.
And I think it's possible and deserved. Javon Evans is as talented as anybody in the world. Like it's absolutely possible he wins this match, and I believe it. You know me, I've called him Diet Scott Hall 1,000 times when it comes to Ethan Page. You never know. There's those weird rumors floating around about him going to the main roster to be involved in the Rock and Cena storyline. Knock that off, please.
Yeah,
No,
please, yeah, we
I'm
don't need
begging you.
that.
No, please, no. Keep that off of my table. I get one day a week to take a deep breath and not talk about Cody Rhodes or now John Cena. And it's Tuesday night. I don't want I don't want to have to do that every single night. Excuse me. I apologize on that one. Okay. We've got where are we going next? Do we want to go with let's predict Julia versus Stephanie Vaquer.
Okay.
Title for title. This is the let's go there next.
Mm,
And then we'll do the two men's matches. Ladies first here.
mm,
Because I do think this is probably the most important match on the card.
it is.
And it's Julia versus Stephanie Vaquer. These are the two coolest signings. They're the two best signings. Interesting enough, Drizzy, have we seen either one cut a full blown promo ever? No.
No,
Does it matter?
no,
No. No.
not one bit. Not even
And
slightly.
that is the best part about this. That's the coolest part. They're so good by just being Julia and Stephanie Vaquer. That is the brilliance of this rivalry. They are that good by being themselves. And this is going to be a match. I cannot wait for it. I'm going to make you pick first this time because I've picked first every single time. So I'm making you pick first. Who do you got? Julia or Stephanie Vaquer? And how do you see the match going?
I am going Stephanie Vaquer. She has a bit more of a momentum going right now, and I feel like she's also been a little bit more battle tested than Julia has in NXT. Julia's taken weeks off. Stephanie's been there week in, week out. She's had matches. I think this might have been the first week that we haven't actually seen her wrestle. Stephanie has been going nonstop for a bit now, and I feel like she's a snowball rolling down a hill. She has so much momentum. Actually, getting that belt off of Fallon makes it even more give her even more momentum. Stephanie has a lot going on right now, and I think that it's kind of like in the in NFL playoffs, you're normally doomed if you have that first round bye because you don't have your
Yeah.
code at that point in time. I feel like Stephanie is coming in on one of those bottom spots where she's been going for a minute. So she's good. She's warmed up. She's ready to go. Where Julia's gonna have to warm up a little bit. Not to say that she can't do it, but definitely Julia is gonna have to warm up a little bit. And honestly, the if we want to talk about a winner, the winner is the fans because this is a dream match happening in a WWE ring.
It's legitimately outstanding. I cannot believe that we're getting this match. But Drizzy, this is even funnier because, to be honest, I was a little nervous that we'd have the same picks going all
Mm,
the way. And
mm,
I'm glad I picked second because, truthfully, I thought you were going to pick Julia too. I thought you were going to pick Julia. And I'm taking Julia. But
mm.
for a lot of the reasons that you picked Stephanie Buckhair
See,
is the funniest part. The reason I'm picking Julia is I think Stephanie's ready for the main roster. I think it's time. And I think it doesn't matter if she ever wins an NXT World Women's Championship. She can do that later.
mm,
I think she is ready for Raw or SmackDown, and Raw or SmackDown needs her worse than NXT does right now.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And for a lot of the reasons you mentioned, like Julia needs a little more time, Julia needs a little more of that. She doesn't in ring, but for figuring out, I think Stephanie Vauquer is ready to step foot through a curtain on Raw or SmackDown tomorrow.
She realistically probably could have went straight to the main roster.
Yes.
She
And
probably could have, but
that is why, that is the only reason because I agree with every single thing you said. And even the reasoning that you gave that Vauquer wins the match. But for all those reasons, I think Julia does, so that Stephanie can make her move to the main roster either post Mania weekend, over Mania weekend, or
realistically,
something else.
both of them could probably make it. There was a
Probably.
reason that
No,
they
it's not
put,
that Julia can't.
but there's a reason why they put both of them in the Royal Rumble this past year,
Yes.
and it wasn't
Yes.
just because they needed bodies. It was because they're good. They're
Yeah.
really good, and to see them standing in the ring with the likes of well, they wasn't there with Rio, but with not Mickey James, with Trish Stratus and
Right.
Nikki Bella and Bianca and all those and Nia and all them, that's what we want to see in the near future. But this right here is something you would expect to see on like a AEW or TNA. We're getting that in a WWE thing, which also just kind of shows the changing of the guard in wrestling when you
Absolutely.
have stuff like this going. You're having dream matches that people sit around at work and or at school, and kids will sit there talking about like, oh, what if they ever met up in a match somewhere and they're in the
Right.
same company doing this now?
Oh, and to be clear, to your point, like it's not about Julia not being ready for the main roster. Like, this is a dream match
Yeah.
as a wrestling fan, no doubt about it. I just think Stephanie Vauquer has something like where it's like she is like right. It's like microwave, right?
Hmm.
Just like microwave will heat up quick,
Yep.
right? Like
She's a
it,
hot and
it,
ready. She is
it, it
she's a little Caesar's hot and ready.
yes, she's the little Caesar's hot and ready. Like it is that time. Yeah, see, Chris Leclerc, this is something we discussed. We were very worried about this. Cora Jade injured
Hmm.
her head, not her knee. That's exactly what we thought.
Hmm. That's what we thought.
That is
But
what we that
from
is what we both saw. Based on the audio that we heard.
let's say
This
it'll
is all
depend.
speculation here.
We'll let them tell us what it is, not because we're Wrestling Republic. We don't deal with
Yes. When not
rumors
only
and
that,
specialists.
no matter what, above anything else, we want the absolute best for Cora Jade.
Yes.
So no matter what's hurt, like the absolute, like whatever it takes, let's make sure that she gets the best treatment possible and the swiftest recovery humanly possible because we're big fans when it comes to Core Jade and NXT in general, and like whether it's head, knee, that's those are specifics, but like anybody being injured here, like we're not rooting for any. I would root not head. Let me put it that way. I guess if that was the choice, but like right, like
Yep.
you don't want anybody to get doinked, but wishing the absolute best for her.
Yes.
Let's talk about some more matches here at Roadblock. Let's talk about Fraxium and the Hardys. Let's talk about Fraxium and the Hardys. Tag action. Interesting segment tonight. It ended with, we had Hank and Tank. They put him over.
Heavy
You had like half a broken Matt.
He's like a hodgepodge of everything. You have V1 Matt, you have broken Matt, you have big money Matt. You like have all the aspects of Matt Hardy. He's just everything now at all times.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, this is going to be a fun match.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know how extreme they can get in a regular tag match, and that was kind of a lot of the talk. But this is a prediction show. So Driz, who goes over?
I am going with the Hardys. The Hardys, they've been a tag team for the better part of all their lives, and been major players in tag team divisions for the last 30-something years now. They are masters at teaming together, especially when you team with your brother. I really think that is the difference between them and Fraxium. Other than that, they're kind of the same. They all kind of have their momentum moves. They all slide, everything like that. But I'm gonna chop it up to experience. The Hardys have been teaming so long they could probably finish each other's sentences. Where Fraxium and can maybe they might get a word in together, but they're not able to finish other sentences. They're not able to think what the other's thinking. Matt and Jeff can probably predict what each one is going to do every day for the rest of their lives. And I think with that alone is what's going to give them the edge over the younger, faster Fraxium because they're not going to be able to outspeed them. They're not going to be able to outfly them. They're going to have to just use their brains a little bit. And Matt is probably one of the better minds in wrestling, underrated with it as well too. So
I couldn't agree more. We got Bobby Petito with Fraxium are great together, and then we've also got Fernando Zayas with the Hardys all the way.
This is coming from somebody who was not a Hardys fan. Well, at least not a Jeff Hardy fan. But
the Hardys are not a Jeff Hardy fan. Oh, whoa. Let's unpack some stuff. Hang on, back up. Pause. Everybody chill. Dryzzy, I have a series of questions to ask you.
Ask what?
When did your non-Jeff Hardy fandom start?
When he had his last singles run in TNA.
Okay, well that was in TNA, but in WWE you didn't love him.
I wasn't a no. That's a great match in wrestling history. But I was not.
What about when the CM Punk run?
I was rooting for Punk. I was a punker at one point in time. I was straight edge.
I'm from Chicago,
and I was a straight edge society at one point in time. So much that the very first member, I was in attendance for the very first member of the Straight Edge Society being shaved on SmackDown. I was there.
Were you anti-beer at the time?
I was underage, so yeah. Now, after I got old enough to drink, that quickly went out the window. But
I mean,
I was always a Matt Hardy fan. So when they sat there and split them up, and Matt went to
Matt
SmackDown,
Facts were great.
Matt Facts were incredible. Matt Hardy was doing great work on SmackDown.
Yes.
When you had to pick between the two, I went with Matt.
I can't even fathom you rooted for Punk.
I was an MFer.
You rooted for Punk against Jeff?
I did. I even rooted for.
I am from Chicago myself. I'm named Clark after Clark Street.
You have to
It's
think
like
about
one of the biggest streets
it.
in the whole city.
And then I'm gonna ask you a question. What is Jeff Hardy's move set consist of exactly?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh,
Ask
no.
Mr. Punk. You're not even allowed to say the M word. And remember, moveset's not cool anymore. But you know
What
what it does? The whisper in the wind, the twist of fate, the swanton bomb,
the
little
Swanton
things like
Bomb?
that, flying
The
leg drop.
Swanton Bomb is literally the only actual move he does. A lot of his
No, the
other
whisper in
moves,
the wind.
that's him doing a flip and falling.
No, no, no. The whisper in
A
the wind
lot,
is dope.
and then I want you to think about a lot of
There
the
was a
Jeff Hardy
time
highlights.
when it was tight.
Jeff Hardy highlights are literally him. Oh Lord, I'm gonna get drugged to the comments on this one. Jeff Hardy is famous for jumping off stuff and falling.
No. That is what Mick Foley's famous for, who's also equally as good. You gotta give Jeff more credit. Now, don't get me
I
wrong.
give him
If
some.
you're gonna talk the group that is TLC 1, I've always been an Edge and Christian guy. It's not even close.
See,
I love the heels, but don't you disrespect Jeff Hardy. That Undertaker match was off the charts.
absolutely.
The rivalry with when he was in his athletic prime and could pull off when he had his move set, like you're the punker that you rooted for
Yes.
hates the move set when he had his full move set, the twist of fate into the stunner. Yes, thank you. Exactly. Boom. Here's all I'm saying. Jeff had the it factor as much as anybody. Could he sustain it? No. But
They're like it.
dude,
I never got on part. I never got fully behind Jeff, and I couldn't. And the one time I did had a chance
the
to,
straight edge
it was it was
society.
it was broken apart. It was broken from me when
Dude,
he
those were the swirly kids. The straight edge society.
nobody's giving Luke Gallows a swirly.
Well, you'd have to
he
have
was
a tall guy.
he was probably giving the swirlies.
You'd have to have a tall guy in your crew.
But like I said, I was never a Jeff Hardy. I was never an Enigma. I was
Oh,
more of an MFer. I was with the
you're an
Matt Hardy
MFer.
will not die.
Wait, is that enough for Jeff Hardy to go back to the main roster? Last time he was on a single. No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think
No,
he's
no
going back
one
to the
said
main.
that.
No, we're not
Whoa.
doing that. No, we
Don't
like
speak. Don't
he's
speak.
gonna when he goes back to WWE full time. It is going to be kind of like what John Cena is doing now to be like a farewell tour. You're gonna get some great tag team matches, and then they're gonna give him his rightful spot in the Hall of Fame because he is a Hall of Famer.
He is. And
And
you're right. Most of his highlights are jumping tall things.
and falling. Now I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
he
Now I'm
doesn't
pretty
usually
sure
fall. He's just jumping.
he's falling with style.
Now, give him credit. He's jumping. He's not falling.
He is.
No, Matt Hardy with the leg drop is closer to falling than Jeff Hardy is with the
And
swan.
and to show how transparent I can be, Matt Hardy could always only get as extreme as the second rope, but he can jump off ladders. Make
Yes.
it make sense. But you know what? This is the hill that I chose to down. I'm pretty sure somebody on Instagram was like, "Oh my god, he sucks." But
By God.
they're like, "Who told Drizzy he could talk?" I'm like,
No. Who gave these guys microphones? Well,
Walmart.
we got them. I'll tell you that much. Okay. It's time for the main event of the evening. Actually, even probably next week, this is likely to be the main event.
Yes.
We have two very large human beings
Nigerian on
in
Nigerian
a
violence.
fight. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. We have two very large African American fellows wrestling in the main event for the NXT title. The best, this is put it on the poster. This is Ali Foreman. This is somebody's gonna get messed up. Somebody's gonna get their chin knocked in. This is going to be the cat's pajamas, the bee's knees, everything you've asked for out of a title fight.
Mhm.
You want unstoppable force, immovable object? You're welcome. You got it. I am going to save my pick, Drizzy. I'm going to let you go first on this one. But
Uh,
I think mine's pretty obvious, and I think you might be on the same page here.
Y'all know I am a TNA shield. I love some TNA. I've been rocking with TNA since the early days of the Wednesday night asylums, back with the Jeff Jarrett's, Raven, the phenomenal AJ Styles, Wildcat Chris Hurt. Those days, I've been a part of that family. I've loved them. I've moved with them in every aspect that I possibly can, even to the point of even the days of Hogan and Bischoff running TNA. TNA has some of the most revolutionary wrestlers. They have had some of the most revolutionary moments in wrestling, some of the most revolutionary matches. TNA is ingrained in wrestling history and have built some of the biggest stars in wrestling, Moose being one of them.
Uh, uh,
Moose is
absolutely.
Moose has been a incredible wrestler in that company for some years now. But there are some things in life that you cannot stop. You can't stop death, you can't stop taxes, and you cannot stop Oba Femi.
Yep. He's the biggest, baddest dude going right now.
And this is not saying that it's gonna be a walk in the park. This might be Oba Femi's toughest battle to date. This man sees eye to eye with him and does moves that I don't think I've ever seen a man his size do ever in life.
100%. And by the way, I did. Yeah, yes, he is. He is full Nigerian
He is
in the
Nigerian. He is
section there. That's
Nigerian.
my apologies.
He and Moose both acknowledge that they are both Nigerian wrestlers. Yes.
But here's what I will say: Obafemi will lift Moose high above his head, slam him low upon the floor, and there will be no more. Obafemi absolutely gets this victory in his coup de grace. And that's not the move of Finn Balor. Don't get confused, wrestling fans. I'm just saying this is his masterpiece. This is where he lets you know, oh, I'm not just the triple threat king, because they had to book two guys against me to make it realistic for the last year.
Hmm.
This is when he shows up, looks at a bully in his own eyes, and helicopters that man around an arena. Obafemi goes over and Obafemi goes to the moon. This is the Obafemi is so good at what he does. He's so physically imposing. He's intimidating. He's getting better and better on the microphone every time they allow him to use one.
Hmm.
It's not
He,
even
this is he. And I know we've made this comparison when he first showed up. He's like Brock Lesnar,
he is. He's like
physically
Brock
gifted.
Lesnar
He's
if Brock Lesnar was
talk.
cooler.
Yes, like
He-
he has all the tools. He is everything. He can talk. He has the aura. He has the moves. He has the intensity.
1,000. This is a bad human being, and I mean that in the greatest way possible. Right? Like we look at Omos, we look at these giants that have been signed, Braun Strowman, all of them. The most physically intimidating one is Obafemi. The scariest one walking around is Obafemi because he's big, strong, and fast, and you can't make that up. I
You
don't care
can,
who you are. You can
and
be
you
a
can't
fiction
teach
writer.
that.
You can't make that
You
up. You
can't
can't teach
teach
that.
that.
Nope. You can't do it. You can't be all of them, right? You got Braun Strowman. He's your little fire hydrant that can run really fast. Obafemi's all of the above and none of the below. Like it is, it is, it's a different planet when you strap up and have to wrestle a guy like Obafemi.
Yes.
That he's that guy, no doubt about it. The Nigerian chief, I love that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hey, that's a guy that look at what a stare down would look like between him and Roman Reigns. Think about it.
Just when you get one of those moments, like when you had Brock Lesnar look at Keith Lee, like, oh, big boy.
Yeah, that that's not a now thing, but damn, yeah, if they really look each other in the eye, and which one are you gonna pick?
I'm telling you, Roman's gonna think twice.
Yeah, who's the biggest cat in the jungle?
Like, there's a lot of guys that we can sit there and say, when they get on the main roster, they get lost in the shuffle. It's gonna be impossible to lose Obafemi in the
Biggest
shuffle.
dog in the yard? Like, I mean, yeah, man. Like, Obafemi can't get lost in anything.
Mm.
You can't lose Obafemi
He
Femi
has.
anywhere.
I needed to be. No, he has one loss in the year. One loss. The only person that probably has had a better record in NXT is Asuka. That
Legitimately.
might be the only one. Maybe Gunther, but
I mean,
Asuka probably is the only one who has had the better record.
it's kind of fascinating, even because he had one loss. So it really is Asuka, if
Yeah,
you think
because
about it.
and he's maybe tied with Gunther because Gunther has one loss. Just to
No, but
just to Ilya. That's the only loss he really has.
I guess that's right. But Gunther even was, I think, NXT UK when I think Gunther.
Yeah, because he wasn't in Prime too long.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon finally saw him and like, oh, you go, come on.
Come on, man.
Hey pal.
When then he got like ripped up and it like Rambo. I don't know. That changed.
You
Obafemi doesn't have to do anything. Obafemi is just scary,
he
period.
comes out like that.
Yeah.
Imagine when he
Obafemi
starts
is
putting
just
in
a
the work.
bad he's just a bad mother effer, for lack of a better way to put it. Like that's just who he is. Okay, but Driz, I do think that brings us to the end of the show. We've got a new grappling for position coming up soon. No
Yes,
spoilers here.
next Thursday.
Yes.
Then the only hint I'm gonna give is it is in honor of Women's History Month. This panel will be a all women's panel. I will be on there literally only to put the names in there and to keep time as moderator.
Yeah, I didn't even get invited. That's how you know it's an all women's panel. But either way, no, I'm kidding. But seriously, absolutely tune in. And if you haven't seen the first episode, we had an absolute blast. Like it was such a good time. Me, Driz, and Megan. You got to check that out. Check out everything else sold separately, all the good stuff, the daily broadcast. We'll be back next Tuesday night, same time, immediately following NXT. Don't miss that. That's, of course, 7 o'clock, 7:10 here on the West Coast. That's going to be 10:10 on the East Coast. That's deep in the middle of the night. Deep in the middle of the night
Yeah,
in the UK.
Yeah, don't worry
I'm
about
not
it.
even doing that math.
Ben's not even awake now.
But 4:10 for my friends in Hawaii. And thank you for everybody that tuned in on behalf of me and Drizzy and everybody at WR. Have an excellent Tuesday night, and we will talk to y'all soon.